So we are here and in the center of San Francisco. There is a place called Geffen, right?
Geffen Gallery.
Geffen Gallery, pretty nice place. And there is a meetup.
Yeah, I hope you'll see all the paintings and.
So there is a meetup here created by the company called Callstack.
Yeah, that we know from Wrocław, Poland.
Yeah, but this is a company that is doing amazing work across, I would say, the globe, right? They are known for React Native, and now they are creating new things. React Universe, a conference that will be unifying different things related to React. And we are joined here by Łukasz, who's one of the
members of Callstack.
Yeah, members of Callstack. Hey. It's nice meeting you in San Francisco.
Thank you. I was pretty surprised to see you here.
Yeah.
I obviously know who you are.
What a coincidence. So you were doing a talk, right?
So I was hosting the meetup today. The meetup is called Across the Universe. So we regularly come from Poland to San Francisco and to other places to talk about latest React news. And this meetup was focused on performance. So my talk was about performance of streaming applications.
Okay, interesting. And how did you like the meetup?
It was great. I'm really glad that you are here. I'm really glad that we had such an amazing lineup with me, but also with Adam. Also, we had a bunch of people coming in from Meta, from other companies, from Dropbox, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was also impressed.
Yeah, the scene in San Francisco is really hectic, I would say. Are you often visiting San Francisco, or?
This is probably my third time doing this. Yeah.
A lot of events here, right?
What surprised me a lot about San Francisco is the community, and you can see community through advertising on the streets. You don't see adverts for everyday products like washing fluid or anything like that. You see adverts for AI, you see adverts for API access, stuff like that. So you see adverts directed to IT community.
Yeah. And whenever I participating in a meetup here, it's very unique, I would say. But people seem very strong, right? They seem very knowledgeable about the topic. And whenever I talk with someone, I'm always learning something, and it's kind of unique to.
And people are very approachable, I would say. They're very nice.
That was interesting. Could you tell us more about React Universe? There's a new conference coming up, created by Callstack, and it sounds.
What's the concept behind it?
What's the concept?
There is a conference called React Universe Conference. It's a successor of the React Native EU that we've held for 7 years in a row. I actually hosted one of them 2 years ago. And right now we are expanding Callstack focus from React Native, that is our core, to React in general. So React Universe is a concept of having React as a core technology for your company, for your product, that can allow you to gravitate towards unified programming system to transform your teams and transform your product to be more agile, to be faster to production, and to allow your teams to deliver products not only for mobile, not only for web, but for everything.
Yeah, that was my next question, because when you think about React Native, the first thing that comes to your mind is mobile, right? Yeah. But React Native is much more than that. You can do TVs, you can do tablets, right? Yeah. What else you could?
So you have your core React Native library that supports mobiles and tablets. On top of that, you have very popular library called React Native Web that allows you to write React Native style code that will run on web and that will transpile to CSS classes, all of that. So you have those two platforms covered by just one language. On top of that, you can add desktop with React Native macOS and React Native Windows. Those two forks are maintained by Microsoft, actually. So Windows, but macOS as well. And Meta team, they have their Messenger application for macOS and for Windows written in React Native Windows and React Native macOS. They used to have an Electron application. Right now, it's all native.
Oh, interesting.
And then I work on a TV application, for a streaming application, and we use React Native tvOS that allows you to target Android TV, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
With one code base, right?
Yeah, and we have a huge monorepo for the enterprise project that I work on. We have a huge monorepo, and we target, depending how you count, we have from 5 to 10 different platforms that we can access with just one code base.
So it sounds like React is now a language more than just a single framework. It's like a meta technology, right?
We actually think it as a philosophy more, because like you can think about React in terms of programming language, but you can also think about just a component mindset. You can have your teams working on different modules for your application, and they don't have to care about the platform that they are developing for. So you don't split your team by platform, you split your team by functionality, by domain.
Interesting. So how would you judge, I mean, the amount of code that could be shared? How does it work? Is it like a...
It depends. It's a very difficult question. So like I think what most people would like is to share as much as possible. But this is not optimal for the business. You have to think about your product and about your users. So I was talking today about performance of TV application, and I was talking about how you can have a 10-year-old stick TV device that has like 1 gig of RAM, and you have your unified application working on that 10-year-old device, and at the same time, that application has to work on the newest Apple TV. And you don't want those two platforms to have the common denominator, right? You don't want them to be as low performing as the one for the low-end device. You want your user experience to be as good for the low-end device and as good as possible for the high-end device.
Using the maximum of the resources.
So you don't share this code. You split your app into some common code, and then you have very nice user interactions, very nice animations for the high-end devices, and you have your baseline animations for the low-end devices. Right. So that's the difference in where do you split it.
I see.
Right? Also, in like styling or animations, you can have reanimated or animated animations for mobile, and for web, maybe you want to do native CSS animations for web so that it's as smooth as possible for your users. You can use React Native animations, but those will be JS driven, and that's not really optimal for web. So for some cases, it depends case by case. For some cases, you can use that code. For some cases, you want to squeeze out as much performance, as much user experience as possible.
Well, it's interesting because you have this flexibility, right?
Yes.
You can decide what you
but
want.
I'm wondering, because Flutter and Dart actually seems to promise the same thing. So, and I know for a fact that Kuba is a big fan of.
No, I'm not a fan of Flutter. I like Flutter.
No, don't be ashamed of this.
No, I'm not.
Don't be ashamed. So what's your take on Flutter?
I like both Flutter and React Native. But
the thing with React Native and Flutter is that React has much stronger community, because we have a community of web developers that's been there for 10, 15 years. Let's say, okay, React has been around for 10 years, so we have a 10-year-old community. Flutter is much younger. It has like probably it's 5-year-old or something like that. Also, Flutter, multi-platform of Flutter for web is not native HTML. It's just a canvas that draws some, I don't know, like
it's like games, right?
Yeah. So with React Native, you actually render native web page for web. The communities are really different. I think it's good that we have Flutter because that drives competition, that drives innovation. But Yeah, I've been observing Flutter. It doesn't do that great nowadays.
And I think it goes back to your point that you mentioned before, that and what you were saying, that React is so present everywhere, that even if you want, for example, you want to hire new people, right? You want to maintain your project. It's much easier to do that with something like React than to learn
and
something
JavaScript,
like Dart.
TypeScript, right?
Yeah, something which is kind of unique.
But also, like, the investment behind Flutter is just Google, and it's just, there is like this fringe language that's called Dart, and there is this ecosystem of Flutter driven by Google. Behind React, we have Meta, formerly Facebook, that invented the React. And also we have Microsoft that is putting a lot of weight behind React Native. They have React Native in their Office libraries, products. They have React Native macOS, Windows. They invest a lot in React Native, and they're really present.
And there is also Callstack.
Callstack as well, yeah, but we are not as huge. But we are. I'm really satisfied. I'm really glad that we can stand amongst those companies and like together drive the community, drive the innovation in React and React Native space. Also, we have Amazon as well. Amazon is behind React Native as well. They are doing some amazing work there. Yeah, they are using, recently they released a lot of React Native materials. Yeah.
I like that you call Dart a fringe language. I really like this expression.
Yeah, but as you say, it's nice to have competition. It's nice to have like a clash of ideas, because something new can come up from that. And I was wondering, because the topic of this for this meetup is performance. Yeah. And for example, we were talking with Michał, and he mentioned a project called Hermes, Static Hermes.
Yeah, from Meta.
From Meta.
So Hermes itself is a JavaScript engine that's created for React Native. So we've been in React Native 2 years ago, we've been using JSC for iOS, and I think JSC for Android as well, but not as new as okay.
JSC is the engine from Apple,
yeah,
right?
JavaScript Core, I think it's called. And so Meta created Hermes like 3 years ago or something like that. And Hermes is directly targeting mobile. So it's like fast to start. And what they're doing with this now is something called Static Hermes, which basically, I'm not sure if I'm not gonna make a mistake here, but please go ahead and watch the conference talk from Svetan, from Hermes team, from React Native EU last year. But what they are trying to do is to allow JavaScript compiling to some native bytecode, maybe not C++ or anything like that, but native bytecode that then can be run in the runtime. So you don't have to interpret JavaScript as you run your app. You have your bytecode already compiled.
Okay, so you're touching directly the metal.
Yeah.
It sounds like something that could be really useful right now for, I don't know, workers or serverless frameworks as well, not only mobile.
Yeah, I think so. The very early experiments, I was aware of this around a year ago when we've been in San Francisco last year. And Svetan announced this Static Hermes on our conference last year. So we hope to see something in production very soon from them.
Sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah. So you can have your interpreted JavaScript language compiled, pre-compiled first to have the performance benefits, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think thank you, Łukasz, for this.
Thanks a lot.
For this interview.
Expertise.
We learned a lot, and good luck with everything. Hopefully see you soon, maybe at React Universe, which happens in September, right?
React Universe happens 5th and 6th of September this year in Wrocław, Poland. If you want to know more about React and React Native, I invite you to follow us on YouTube.
Yeah, we will put the links
the React Native Show podcast.
to everything, and maybe the QR code. Are there any meetups in between before before React Universe? Are you planning something?
We are actually co-organizing ReactConf with Meta. It's happening near Vegas, Nevada, in a month. I think it's 15th, 16th of May. I might be not correct about this, but I think that's somewhere near that.
We tried to get in, but didn't work out. Tried to bribe you, but also
Yeah,
didn't work
we
out.
tried to bribe Callstack.
I have nothing to do with this. I'm not in charge
No,
of this.
it's a big conference, so
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you again.
Thanks
It
a
was
lot.
fun.
Thanks for having me.
See you.